Abi.
Hey! What that one has?
Wetin be this? Wetin be this?
It is smoke Igbo. It is take India help.
Rich watch and cup of tea, oh.
Here all engineer Hollywood.
Nigga mama de.
Ijel engineer Hosi.
Nigga we go de.
Ijel engineer Hosi yo.
Nigga we go de.
Ima picho pa engineer Hoku.
Nigga den ke. Ba he don de.
Nigerian government don't make everybody now the reason sell.
Me, I can even be back there tomorrow.
If you dey the reason sell, it be like say fear to sell anytime. Because entering sale now in Nigeria is not by doing the wrong thing.
Continue.
They can call you at any time. It be like appointment. Now make sure Kuti talk say enter sale finish, he come out, go renovate am. Like say na your house.
I give my people money, may they go renovate that cell.
He said because I feel still go back there. The way Seun Kuti take the talk in the talk, I'm like say the whole Nigerians owe am appreciation. Say renovate our house, our potential house. Because the way when they take the dam now, if you talk anything, they tell you say, hey, go back to the house. Like say don't reach time where everybody go contribute money, go put AC for all the cells. Because you can't leave your house uncomfortable. This one when they issue warning up and down NBC. Issue warning, give a rise. People like say we no go they talk anytime too. No, they go soon stop us to they talk. If you want talk, you go look around. They'll tell you say, what do you want to talk about? Say wait to. You get that cell. Nigerians are sell now be like people wait there for open relationship. It be like would they open relationship with Nigerians? Do whatever you like. I'm waiting for you. You will come home to daddy. Mamma mia.
In Nigeria, it's also an insult to our children. I've said it, I have a daughter. How do I look my daughter in her eye and tell my daughter that, oh, even if you go to school, somebody will come behind and forge a certificate and take something that you deserve, that belongs to you? Because I think we have too far, for too long, we have excused criminality in this country. When we see somebody from nowhere with so much money, we ask no questions, we spend the money with the person. We do a lot of things that keep excusing criminality. And I am worried. Because this matter is not a matter of you being a Yoruba man, Omoluabi. It has nothing to do with you being an Omoluabi, being Yoruba man, being the culture of the Yoruba people. To hell with the culture of the Yoruba people. I'm a Yoruba man. To hell with that. It is common decency as a human being. It's a common decency as a human being. And we need to act as honorable people. I don't have direct access to anybody to advise, but if I will advise, the honorable thing, everybody knows the honorable thing to do. Because excusing and defending rubbish, defending the indefensible, makes no sense. We can lie to ourselves. We can say things to want to convince ourselves. To me, because when I see here a lot of defense, It's like they are speaking to themselves. They are trying to convince themselves. They know the truth. So why would I go ahead trying to lie to myself? The biggest lie any man can do to himself is lying to himself. Me, I will never be party to lying to myself. No matter how the truth is, please tell me. I want to hear it. It's hurtful. It's painful. But it needs to be said. And the truth has been said several times. And me, I stand with Nigeria. And I pray we'll do the right thing. I pray. Because if they don't do the right thing, the precedent they are laying for us is very dangerous. It is very, 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 very dangerous. We can excuse a lot of things, but this one, it's difficult for me to excuse. Mindset, that's what I wanted to say. I know you wanted me to say it directly, but this is the best I can say. The last time I said some things, I know the amount of phone calls and backlash I got, so I will end it here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. White. You see, when I used to say on this platform that there are somebody in APC, I disagree with him. We have our disagreement, but at least there are some things I can say about this person that he stands for a better Nigeria. And some individuals were not comfortable with that when I make reference to Mr. White, and I said that to some other person as well. When we had a problem on
the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has filed what he termed as fresh evidence against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the Supreme Court. The former vice president, who has also urged Supreme Court to accept the new evidence, specifically sought to leave of the apex court to tender Tinubu's academic records, which he said were handed over to him by the Chicago State University on October 2nd, 2023. In a motion he filed through his team of lawyers, led by Chief Chris Uche, SAN, the PDP presidential candidate said the evidence he is seeking to tender before the court would establish his allegations that Tinubu submitted forged documents to the Independent National Electoral Commission in aid of his qualification to participate in the presidential election. Atiku argued that Tinubu, by his action, committed forgery and perjury and therefore deserved to be removed from office by the Supreme Court. He also stated that the 32-page document he is seeking to tender was released by the CSU on the orders of Judge Nancy Maldonado of the District Court of Illinois, Eastern Division, Illinois, in the United States of America. All right. Steve, the saga continues. If you recall, the whole idea was, discovery for use. And we don't know if the Supreme Court will admit this fresh evidence at this point. Yeah. Some lawyers have argued that it is in the best interest of the Supreme Court to accept this because it's a matter of national importance, national interest. Others have said it's not technical for them to admit these documents in court. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
It's up to the Supreme Court, frankly speaking, and we will get to know in a matter of days or weeks, when the justices will decide, whether it's acceptable to them or not. I think that the lawyers to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has done the right thing to their cause, which is to present that which they believe they got from Chicago State University, and which they think that it might swing the judgment in their favor. And part of what they're arguing is that it has been done before, and they cited instances that for electoral petition, if it becomes necessary, and that the Supreme Court can, and indeed have done that before, to accept fresh evidence that can help or assist the petitioner. Of course, part of what people are saying is that you didn't plead some of these things ab initio,
right?
And that the Supreme Court is not where you go and argue fresh cases. But then, even if Supreme Court accepts, it's also all about what's the precedent. People have cited the case of 2 governors in Osun,
yes,
and in Enugu, where some decisions have been taken and it didn't quite go in the manner that a lot of people thought that it would go. So it is not just about will the Supreme Court accept, even if they do. What is the strength of the evidence that Atiku Abubakar and his lawyers are bringing to the court. But of course, we know that this will not go away anytime soon. It is not likely that it will even disappear after the Supreme Court ruling. There are other things attached to the evidence in court that Atiku Abubakar is bringing, and I foresee that this might stretch ultimately, depending on what the Supreme Court says, ultimately towards 2026, if not to 2027, when the next round of the elections and voting, will happen. But let's see. It's interesting times, isn't it?
Let's see.
Sadly, our country is not getting the best in terms of reputation, out of all this. And I hope that there won't be damages to people, to Nigerians, especially those who are seeking legitimate opportunities abroad, in terms of having to go through their documents and credentials and the things that they have pleaded.
Yes, you cited some examples, and I appreciate that you were able to do. But just for some clarity on some of those examples, there was one in 2020, which is the case of David Leon of the APC.
Yeah.
In that case, they talked about bearing different names in different certificates. They said that he committed fraud, and forgery of certificate is a crime. So these are some of the arguments that will be made in court if they admit those documents.
If they admit and you're able to prove
absolutely
that forgery, indeed occurred.